And we are back in the house, folks. And it's good to be back. And guess who I have in the house with me today? I have the coach, Coach Pugh. And, Coach, you know what? And I'm sorry. You're the second person I did this to. I'm sorry. I normally let everybody introduce themselves, but, Coach, can you introduce yourself?
This is Coach Oliver Buddy Pugh. And I'm the retired now head coach of South Carolina State University. I'm the guy before Coach Chennis Berry, and actually the guy who had an opportunity to hire Coach Berry. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can consummate this whole process here now, finish it out this weekend with a wonderful year of transition from mine to his, and we'll see what happens.
Because the last time Coach Pugh was here, he played with his South Carolina State team against my Jackson State Tigers. And guess what he did? Coach Pugh came out. Look, I still remember that game. The Bulldogs came out in warm-ups and doing warm-up with a chip on their shoulder. And they came out saying, you know what? I don't care. We're underdogs, and we got a chip on our shoulder, and from warm-ups. And I have said this since that game. Jackson State never recovered, even from that. And what made it even worse, and we talked about this after the fact, that 4th and 19 play.
Oh, yes. You remember that.
Look,
that's been a long time.
I will never forget about that and what you guys did, because that's one of those plays. That's. I mean, can you, if you remember, can you go into?
Yeah, we go out there. First of all, our kicker, I didn't think had the range to make a field goal from where that ball was. We were like on the maybe 30-yard line, somewhere in that neck of the woods. It could be like about a 47-yard field goal or somewhere in that neck of the woods. And we had a play that we thought might be available to us. It was one of those deals where our offensive coordinator comes over the headset and says, Coach, they're falling off of the edge guy, out on the perimeter. And we might be able to hit the comeback ball for a deep ball that way. And I said, you think that will work? He said, it's been there the last few plays. I said, well, let's go ahead and see if we can do it. And then the key to the whole deal was that Jackson had no idea that we weren't going to kick the field goal. We called a timeout because we ran out of time trying to contemplate what we were going to do. And so then as we go back out on the field, we got both teams standing on the sideline. We got the offense sitting there, and we got our special team sitting there too. And, once the whistle blew, then we sent the offense out there. So Jackson was a little bit caught off guard by the fact that we were going for it. 4th and 19 is not a situation you go for very often. And we had a play, and we went in and threw it down on the sideline back toward our bench, back toward their bench.
Our bench. Yeah, Jackson State's bench.
Exactly, for about a 21, 22-yard gain. And then from that point, we got that score in, and then from that point, the game was pretty much over.
Yeah. No, the game was over. The game was over actually before they scored. And as much as I have to admit that, when you're beaten, when you are beaten, you have to admit certain things. Yeah. And watching the demeanor of the play, and this was in the second quarter.
Yeah. No, that was in the second half. That was in the second half.
First, I'm sorry, second half.
Yes, that was the second half. I think it was in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure, but I think it was.
But I can tell you right there, that play, during that play,
it was over.
The game was over.
Yeah.
And you could tell from the demeanor of the players. I mean, 4th and 19, and they made 21 yards on the play. And as a matter of fact, if it hadn't been for the defensive play of the guy, he almost could have ran it in.
Exactly.
And it was just, it was a phenomenal call.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that game was probably won in what Coach Berry calls the middle eight, which are the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And what happened was we got our first score, our first touchdown, toward the end of the second quarter.
Yes.
Which was, I think, a 10-7 lead or somewhere in that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
And then we got in and scored. I think we got a turnover early in the second half.
Yes, you did.
And then we got that one in. So we got up. We went from a 3-point deficit. I think we were down 7-0. We went from a 3-point deficit. We were down 7-3 to we went from a 4-point deficit to like about a 10-point.
I think it was like
advantage.
17-7.
Yeah, somewhere in that neck of the woods. So, that was kind of what actually took us to the point where we felt confident in the fact that we were at least in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something else, Coach. 6-2.
Yes.
The MEAC.
Yes.
What do you essentially attribute that to, that the MEAC has had such a huge advantage in the Celebration Bowl?
Yeah, well, I think lots of times we lose focus on the fact that our team schedules are sometimes more difficult. The SWACs got 8-10 games, conference games, and, we only have 5. And so the rest of our games are non-conference games against Southern Conference teams, against guaranteed games, that kind of stuff. This year, we played FAMU, we played Georgia Southern, we played the Citadel,
yes.
We played Tennessee Tech. So we had, and see, Tennessee Tech, just to give you an example, as good as Tennessee State was, Tennessee Tech beat Tennessee State last year at home. So you get a pretty good, and they was like 7-5 in their league. So, the fact that we've continued to not only play decent in conference, but we continue to play really well out of conference is what really gives us a little bit of a different, distorted kind of opinion of ourselves from the SWAC's perspective, because of the fact that I think our non-conference, our schedules in general, are a little bit stronger. Not because our league is stronger, but because we play all
Your
those
schedule is stronger.
out of conference stronger. Yes, teams.
And that's one of the things I've been saying quite a bit is because it almost works to your advantage.
It does.
The MEAC's advantage.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter who comes out of the MEAC, because you only have 5 conference games that you play, but the other 6 or 7 games that are played are non-conference games, and whereas the SWAC, they're playing at least 8 games against the same foes that you see over and over and over again.
Yeah. So
I'm going. Go ahead.
So that gives us a little bit of an opportunity to get a little different kind of strength of schedule. And say this year, we were 1-2 after 3 games.
Yes,
we played at FAMU, we played the Citadel, and then we played at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
So we 1-2, right, and then from that point on, we hadn't lost a game.
I know.
Which has really been pretty awesome to a certain degree. So it gives us a pretty strong case for having a good team.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm hoping that Coach Berry will be in here today. I think he's scheduled to come in, I think, around about 3 o'clock. I believe so.
Okay.
But I wasn't expecting this. I'm just going to be very honest with you, and I'm going to mention this to him, too. I was expecting possibly next year, or especially in 2 years from now, that he was going to be trouble.
Right.
But, Coach, to do this on his first year without his players, what do you say about that?
Well, I didn't expect it either. So I can tell you that this was a little bit of a surprise to us all. But now, what gives us the chance to make this come together is that he had a good nucleus of guys returning. He had a good nucleus of guys from his other team that he had the previous year that he got
that he brought over
with him.
Oh.
Okay, so you put those two together, and then he gets a nice culture going in a way where he gets our guys to really buy into his style of doing things. And then the next thing you got is you see what you got here. You got a chance to be, conference champs. You got a chance to be national champs.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, and he's gotten it all to come to fall together. It's almost unbelievable in 1 year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought that he could be pretty good. Our offensive line came back totally intact. We got one guy different from what we had last. And it's the same offensive line, believe it or not, that was here at 21.
Are you
in
serious?
In the celebration, it's almost the same group of guys.
See,
So,
I don't want to hear that. I'm just gonna be honest with you, Coach. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I can tell you that they're pretty good too. They're really good, smart kids, you know, who graduated now. All of them have graduated, so they in either grad school or whatever. And you know, we looking to see if they can run the football again tomorrow. Because that's kind of the story, you know, as anything. And then we lost a good bit of the defensive guy. There's only one guy starting on the defense that was on that team.
From 21.
And that was 11. That was Aaron Smith. That was And you know, he's back and doing really, really well. But the rest of this team is all new guys. And you know, they transfers. You know, they're young guys. There's some guys that we developed, some of that kind of stuff. And you know, they're coming along really nicely. But that side of the ball is almost totally new. So you know, that's a really surprising part of how those guys have developed. And Coach O'Daffer, our defensive coordinator, has done a fantastic job of preparing our defense week in and week out. So this is a different version of the team that you saw in 21. But offensively, it's kind of pretty close to the same. They got a couple new guys, but the quarterback's different. The running backs are different. A couple of wide receivers different. The rest of that team is pretty much the same. So they're doing okay.
Well, with that being the case, and all of these guys coming in new on the defensive side, and knowing what you guys did to Jackson State, because the score ended up being 31-10. That defense, they played some pretty good ball.
They did.
Now, even though you're saying just one guy's returning, essentially, from that 21 team, the defense played pretty damn good.
Yeah, they were really good. Overall this year, the defense might be the strength of this team. So, you know, they've done a fantastic job of transitioning from that old group to the group that we have now. But they're new guys. Now, some of them are guys that were young guys on that same team, but these guys now are guys that were, you know, not on the playing field in 21.
Yes, because the one thing I can tell you with South Carolina State, and I'm actually pulling this up
the roster
for the games that were actually played. And as a matter of fact, let me bring it up on the so everybody can see it here. These are the games.
Yes.
Florida A&M. They were unfortunate. They lost to Florida A&M, 18-22.
And we should have won that game, though. And there was a touchdown that was not called. That was actually a clear touchdown early in the game that would have put us up by 2 scores. And we ended up losing that game by less than a touchdown. So I can tell you that we have a chance to win that game. And then the Citadel game we won. And then if you see the Georgia Southern game, the Georgia Southern was not a complete blowout. You know, it was a pretty good game too. So I can tell you that from that point on, we've been really good.
Yeah, I mean, A&T,
exactly.
45-25, Tennessee Tech, 22-20, Fort Valley State, well, different division. Delaware State, 69-35, Central, and I call Central the bullies of the MEAC after you left. But I mean, essentially, that's what North Carolina Central. That's what I call them, the bullies of the MEAC. And then here comes Coach Berry.
Exactly. He gets through him. He runs through him like Croton.
Yeah, and look at the score, 24-21.
Exactly.
Howard, the other team that was supposed to be the team this year.
So the last 2 winners of the MEAC, Central and Howard, he went through both those guys.
Yeah.
And won pretty handily. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
the Central game was really close. But
24-21.
The Howard game, you know, we kind of blew Howard out, and we beat up on the rest of that league pretty good.
Yeah, because I mean, now the game that really surprised me, Central game surprised me.
Right.
But to beat up on Morgan State at Morgan State, 54-7, that surprised me. What do you think happened in that game?
Morgan turned the football over, and in a case where you don't necessarily take care of the football properly, then you got a chance to give up some scores. We had 2 or 3 pick sixes in that game, so we had some defensive scores in that game. So we had both the Morgan game and the Howard game, both those games in the Metro Washington area were both games where they turned the football over and we got some defensive scores.
Wow. And see, going back and taking a look at it, I mean, 54-7 there. Howard.
And our quarterback got hurt. The Phoenix kid got hurt against Morgan early in that game. So we played our second quarterback the middle of the first quarter all the way through the end of the Norfolk game. So he hadn't played since the first quarter of the Morgan game. The MEAC Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. Oh, and he's playing again in the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, yeah, he'll be here this week.
And look at this. And as I said, look at the score. I mean, the score is 54-7, and the Norfolk game was 53-21. So in those last three games, you only gave up 3, 4, 6 touchdowns, whereas you scored well over 100.
Exactly.
Over 140 points.
Yes.
So I'm like, my gosh.
It'll be interesting to see exactly how they play this week because they will get their quarterback back, and we will get our quarterback back. And, it'll be interesting to see how they play with Phoenix back under the center because he's been out for a while.
Yeah. But needless to say, you did pretty doggone good without it.
Oh, he ain't bad. Yeah, they're very, very good regardless of who was there. Exactly.
Wow. Well, the one thing I can say, I followed Coach Berry because, in what I do, I have to follow all of the conferences.
Exactly.
And so I followed Coach Berry because he was with Benedict College.
Exactly.
And he had won 2 championships
in a row,
undefeated.
Exactly.
In conference play.
Exactly.
And he went on to
his regular schedule was his first loss both those years was in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. And outside of that, I mean, what can you say?
No, the guy he's the real deal. He really is. And in 3 years now, from his 2 years at Benedict, he lost 1 game each year. He lost 1 game here. So in 3 years, he's lost 2 games. He's lost 4 games in 3 years.
Yeah, 4 games. The first
exactly. 2 here and 1 in both of those.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna be honest, Coach. Everybody knows I'm a graduate of Jackson State University. You cut me, I'm gonna bleed blue. This game makes me nervous.
It ought to, but now you know what? I don't ever give either team much of a chance to upset the other. I don't know. I really don't. The fact that we don't play each other on a regular basis always scares me. And the last time we played, which was in the challenge game here, we were beaten handily by a Jackson State team. So I can tell you that this game scares me also.
Yeah, all I know is if both teams play to their level of their abilities, this game is either going to be a score of 7-3, 10-7, or 49-45.
Somewhere there. I can believe all of the above. So
yeah, it's
we'll see.
It's you know what, Coach? It's going to be a great game.
I'm looking forward to it.
Regardless.
Yes.
Coach, they're telling me to wrap.
Thank you.
And
appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at the game.
Man, it's just great to see you. I'll be in the press box.
All right. I'll be around.
It's just great to see you. This is the dean of college football in the MEAC. I notice I said is. I know he's retired. I understand that. Yeah. I understand that. But I still refer to him as the dean.
I appreciate you.
Of college football. Not just MEAC, but he's still the dean.
Thank you so much.
So, no, thank you for your time more than anything else. And if there's anything I can do for you or SCS, you let me know. And I'm very serious about that. So, and this you got to give respect where respect is due. Just like I did with Coach Brady, who was a legend at Jackson State coaching baseball, you also have to give respect to other great coaches as well. And if you don't, then you're not worth your salt. I'm sorry. That's me, and that's how I feel. And he's from another school, and I shouldn't be giving him all this respect. And if I don't, I'm crazy. Because guess what? My uncle would get me for that. Sports Information Director, Sam Jefferson. I'm not going to have, I'd rather answer to him than answer to my uncle. So that's why you got to give respect to where respect is due. So, folks, we're going to take another break, and we're going to take another quick break, and you got a chance to look at the scores a few minutes ago from what South Carolina State did this year overall, and gosh, only losing 2 games and just wiping everybody else out the rest of the season after going 1-2. What else can you say, folks, except this is going to be a really good game. They went undefeated in the MEAC. Jackson State went undefeated in the SWAC. Unfortunately, and the bad thing about it is that somebody has to lose the game. That's the bad part about it. Someone has to lose the game. It's just, yeah, we're on opposite sides of the field. I'm going to say this. It's just too bad they can't end at a tie. I know the coaches don't want to hear that. The players don't want to hear that. But because when you have 2 great teams, it's just too bad something like that can happen. But, folks, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back to you. So we will see you in a few. And it's just great to be here, and it's great to have Coach Pugh in the house. But we shall return in a few minutes.
Good. Perfect.
And we are back and have another guest in the house. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Sure. Be happy to, Michael. Pete Durzis, formerly the Senior Vice President of College Sports Programming and Events, and had the good fortune of, as we talked about before we came on air,
Yes.
had the good fortune of being involved with my team in Charlotte, my ESPN events team in Charlotte, and worked with the commissioners, two different groups historically. One when we started the MEAC SWAC event 23 years ago. Commissioner Vowles of the SWAC and Commissioner Thomas. And fortunately, that's been a mainstay. Great event to kick off the season. And then Commissioner Thomas, we worked together in developing the Celebration Bowl, and then we were able to get it launched, 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 10th anniversary.
This is year 9.
Year 9. Next year's year 10.
Yes.
So it's been a fun run. It's, as I like to say to people, the two conferences are instrumental because they both commit to their conference champions. So what we've got is the de facto Black National Championship game here.
Yes,
and it's really taken off. And, so the two conferences are instrumental. We decided Atlanta was the right city, which it's proven to be.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
Mercedes-Benz, the right venue, it's proven to be. You know, we've got the great hotel set up between the two towers at the Omni. We've got the perfect sponsor in cricket. And so all the pieces to the puzzle have come together nicely. And, you know, tomorrow, Michael, we were talking to some of your colleagues along, you know, the press row here.
Yes.
Two things that strike me about this event.
Okay.
Talking to the players, they're great representatives of their families and of their school and of their conference. They're so appreciative of this platform that they've gotten a chance to have success and be rewarded by coming here, and that is important. What's equally important is the view that they carry, that it's not about them, it's not about their school, it's not about their family, but it's about the HBCU universe, and they carry that into the game.
Yes.
They want to put a good show on for everybody.
Yes.
So that's important. And then the second thing that's really been, for me, an evolution to watch and take a lot of pride in seeing, I'll walk the concourse tomorrow when I get to the stadium. And I would tell you right now, I will see 20, 25 HBCUs represented.
Yes,
I'll
you will.
see jerseys from every school, fans from every school, and to see the fan bases turn out, come to Atlanta, enjoy the weekend, renew friendships, see their fraternity brothers and sorority sisters. It's really been a family affair, and that's been rewarding to see. And while you hope it happens, you're never sure it's going to happen.
But it does happen.
But it does happen, and it's been really rewarding.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yep.
What made you want to start, well, first, the MEAC
Right.
Challenge?
Well, you know, in college sports, you know, we obviously, you know, ESPN has a lot of platforms, and we are the leadership of college sports. There's no network, there's no entity that has more hours dedicated to college sports. And it hit us I'm in the room 24, 25 years ago, and we're reviewing all of our contracts. And, you know, it's like the light bulb goes on in that room, and we realize that we have an underserved segment of our society. We weren't doing enough with HBCUs. And that was kind of the flashpoint moment, and to say we need to create something special.
Wow.
And that's really the creation of the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Okay.
And it was the idea, let's start it at the beginning of the year. All the other existing challenge series were always locked into two schools, the Bayou Classic, Magic City Classic. You know, I mean, they always had the same schools.
Right.
And then there were some other promoters that did other things with different schools. And there was a little bit, the conference commissioner shared with me that sometimes some of these other promoters that maybe didn't pay the school what they were due. And we said that we're going to solve that, because let's create something that gives a rotation so the conferences could put different schools in the MEAC SWAC.
Yes.
They could have a chance at television on a national basis. And we treated it like a preseason bowl game with gifts and things. And then, you know, what we did, which made it unique, we paid the conferences direct, and then they distributed the money to the schools.
Oh, wow.
So that was, I think, a winning margin. So those ADs never had to worry. Those dollars were good, you know, and so
excellent.
It was a winning decision, and it's proved to be a great model.
Excellent. And see, these are things that we truly take for granted more than anything else, and that's why we have to look at what we have in front of us to say, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity. And when we do show these opportunities, why not? Because when we look around here on Radio Row, we see all of the different entities that are coming in to do their interviews. And I'm looking around now, some more have come in, some others have left, but yet and still, it's a great testament to what was started.
It is. It proves to be a great promotional platform for HBCUs. And, you know, the beauty of this game at the Celebration Bowl, I remember in the early years, North Carolina A&T had the good fortune, I want to say they were in 3 of the first 4, if I remember right. They had a lot of success.
Yes.
And to their credit, they used this platform in Atlanta, and their enrollment grew significantly, and their recruitment of students for the student body. They went on to be the largest HBCU at the time in those early years of this event. And
Yes, they did.
And so that's not lost on me, the power of what sport can do. It's historically been the front porch to a lot of schools. And so as we did that, we did the MEAC SWAC, we did the celebration, and then we even dipped down in terms of classification and realized that we had another need, and we ended up creating in Montgomery, Alabama, the Red Tails Classic for Tuskegee.
I've covered that as well.
Yep, and that was the last official deal I did before I retired. And so I've been to the Red Tails a number of times, and it was so important. Tuskegee's got such a wonderful brand, very proud alumni base, very well-heeled alumni base.
Yes.
And, and the football program has been excellent over the time. And they desire to really have a stronger presence in Montgomery. It's nationally televised. We had Johnson C. Smith from Charlotte, North Carolina, play him this year.
Surprise team.
Very much so.
Johnson C. Smith, surprise
Very
team
much
this
so.
year.
And so, I think as we've seen it grow, that fan base turns out. It's been a success in Montgomery. I think back, honoring the Red Tails, the service that they provided the country back in World War II, and we got some testimonials. Robin Roberts' father was one of the airmen. Tony Dungy's father was one of the airmen. They both cut promotional spots for the event. So it weaved a nice narrative over the course of time and connected it to the brand of the game.
And I tell you, it's a continual, it's a continual effort for and testament to what's going on. I see there's Mr. Grant here as well. And
there you go. Yep.
Because all of the individuals that are coming and that have just made this such a huge, huge success.
Very much so.
And
well, the beauty, Michael, it's funny because you paint a vision and then you try to carry that vision. And I remember Executive Director Grant, John and I, we before game one, before it was ever played, a year out, we were knocking on corporate doors in Atlanta and other places trying to get money to support the event.
Yeah.
Sell tickets, do this, do that. And it's kind of funny. I think back, some of those companies, they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't want to invest till they saw how it did.
They didn't want to be the first one to jump on board.
You know what? I told a couple of them on the way out the door. I said, well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for hearing our pitch. You're going to want to be in this, but it's going to cost you a lot more down the road.
And guess what?
It did.
Oh, my gosh. Well, can we be a part of that? Sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to be $25. It's going to be $75.
There you go. There you go.
I like that. But this is where it is. A lot of individuals, they want to be able to see something first instead of saying, you know what?
Yep.
I want to invest in you.
That's it. Well, you're investing in the dream. You want to invest in the people. I've always believed that you can take the right group of people and put them over a failing business, and they'll find a way to turn it around. And you can take the wrong group of people, put them over a successful business, and they'll screw it up, and it'll fail.
And it's going right down the hill.
NFL teams, whatever it is. I mean, you've seen it, right? We've all witnessed it. And so, that's just my belief. It's about people. You got to get the right people.
You have to have the right people. And as a matter of fact, that's what we were saying earlier. I talked to Coach Oliver, the coach for North Carolina Central.
Yep.
And he's saying, well, I'm just a facilitator. And I said, no, that's not true, because you made sure you got the right people in place.
That's right.
So you could just facilitate.
That's right.
Because if it takes a great man to be a leader of men. And if you're not a person who can be a leader of men or a leader of people, then guess what?
And whether that's at the collegiate, the professional, or whether it's in corporate America.
Yes.
You're 100% right, Michael. I can tell you this much. I have I've had the good fortune of being a part of some wonderful leadership teams, and I think you're exactly correct. I can tell you this much. you get the wrong person in, and you will see the people around them. They know you cannot pull a fraud on the people that are relying on that person.
No. Because it's about your vision and whether or not you want to bring people along with you.
Yeah, that's
and I can tell you right now, the greatest testimony that I have, I also teach.
Yep.
And to have those students come back and say, I remember when.
Right.
It's not about what you do in the classroom.
Well, you made an impact on their lives.
It's about the impact that you have on their lives.
Exactly right.
And it makes such a huge difference, and it's something that you never forget. And I do want to be respectful of your time.
Well,
they said
you,
that you had to, that you were on your way out, and I was looking because I want to make sure I'm not holding you up too long.
We're good. You're good. I appreciate the time. I get a chance to visit with you and share a little bit of the background, and we'd encourage everybody to come to Mercedes-Benz and enjoy the Celebration Bowl.
Yes, sir. Well, I will be here, and I was hoping to get Mr. Grant over here
sure
with you.
They'll get him.
But more than anything else, thank you.
All the best to you, sir.
For starting this.
Well, thank you for your support.
Oh, there's not a problem. And as you're getting ready to leave, can you tell us, is there anything else you guys are are you working on now?
Listen, John figured out how to do a Battle of the Band tonight, which I wasn't sure he was going to be able to pull off. But no, I think everybody's looking for the next opportunity, but it's got to be the right opportunity.
Yeah.
To your point.
Understand.
Take some time to nurture along.
Understand.
But all the best to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. But thank you very much, Pete, for being able to join us, because without having the courage to start this would not have happened. And that's why we always have to give credit where credit is due. Thank you very much.
All the best.
So I'm going to shut this off real quick and move over. But I do Well, we are back in the house again, and welcome again to Block Sports. And right now I have with me, and I've been doing this I'm trying to give credence to everyone that sits in the seat to let them introduce themselves, and instead of me taking the lead all the time. But why don't you introduce yourself? Tell me the position that you hold with the team, and go from there. Coach from South Carolina State.
There you go. My name is Coach Rashard Alston. I'm the running backs coach here at South Carolina State.
Awesome. Awesome. And see, guess what? They're in the house, and this is their time because they will be playing, of course, as we know, against the Tigers of Jackson State University. And this is the second time since 2021 that these two teams have played against each other. And not a lot of players from either team that have played in that game in 21.
Correct.
But then again, Coach Pugh said that I think a lot of people from offense, from the offensive side, played in the game, and maybe one defensive player played in that game back in 21.
Yeah, so we had a few guys. It's not a whole lot. You know, our starting linebacker, Aaron Smith, and, you know, our starting right guard, Nick Tace, you know, Eric, our starting center, Eric, you know, and our left tackle, Cam. Those guys were guys that were here and played in the game, you know. So those are guys, you know, as a true freshman, they were freshmen, you know, playing in the Celebration Bowl. So now it's their senior year, and we're trying to send them out the right way.
Wow, I tell you what. And see, a lot of people, we take for granted the amount of time that it takes to actually prepare for these games. And you have so many players now that's entering the portal and going from school to school to school. And to say you've had a player or players that are now playing in their fourth year and maybe even in grad school, that's with the same school, is a testament to the university. So, no, congratulations on that. Now, I'm looking at your schedule here, and let's pull the schedule back up. We had the schedule up when Coach Pugh was here, and I want to bring this schedule up again. Here we are. First three games, you were 1-2.
Yes, sir.
And then you guys ran the table. So, tell me this. Tale of almost two teams.
Yes, sir.
What happened in those first three games?
So the first three games, you know, we were really just trying to find our footing. You know, we talk about paying the fee every day, you know, and that's about focus, effort, and execution. You know, we want to pay the fee every day. You know, we had some things that we did in the FAMU game that were uncharacteristic of us. You know, we made some mistakes. You know, some rookie mistakes we made early on in the game that kind of hurt us at the end. You know, and those are things we learned from, right? We were able to learn from that loss. That was a big game for us. You know, that was a huge game in the trajectory of our season because we lost that game. You know, we lost that game on some things that, you know, we had been coaching and our players have been buying into it, but it was some things that hadn't quite clicked yet because we hadn't seen it against live bullets against someone else. So we were able to see some things in that FAMU game about ourselves, and we were able to take a deep dive about ourselves because it's always about us. You know, it's never really about the opponent. We never focus on the opponent so much. It's really about the things that we do. So we were able to correct the things that we do and the things that we did wrong, and we're able to build on the things that we did great. You know, so it's always a process. You know, it's always a process every day, just going 1-0 every day. And we were able to kind of get the ball rolling and try to stack a couple of days. We talk about stacking bricks in our program, and that's really just stacking days. So we were able to stack a day and stack another day and stack another day, and that turns into stacking a win on Saturday. And then you go back to work that next Sunday and stack another day, and that turns into another win. And we talk about going 1-0 in everything that we do. So, like yesterday, someone asked me what our record was, and all I can say is 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, I know we're 1-0.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't even tell you until you look it up. It's like, man, but it doesn't matter. You know, it's about 1-0 and trying to go 1-0 next week. Each week.
And you know, you said something because I remember a long time ago, this team, pro team, San Francisco 49ers. And this was during their heyday when they had this guy that came from this small town, small college, Mississippi Valley State.
Okay.
And they were getting ready to go into Green Bay. No one gave them a chance on God's green earth because, one, where's San Francisco? Nice, beautiful California. Where's Green Bay during the time of the playoff? Cold, frigid, and if it ain't frigid, it's cold, and if it ain't that, it's both, and
Oh,
worse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, snow and all that.
Yeah, and so what happened is that no one gave them a chance, but they went into that game and they won in cold, frigid Green Bay. In these games that you played, and especially the games, and I'm going to get into one other thing, the game with North Carolina Central, Howard, and Morgan State.
Sir.
What made you guys go into these games thinking that you could actually win?
Because those were the biggest games of the season. And this is why. Because they were the next game. You know, it was the next game. We're used to being the underdog. We're used to being doubted. Didn't nobody believe that we were ranked fourth in our conference, let alone we weren't ranked at all in the power rankings for HBCU football. We were number 4 in our conference. You know, nobody thought we would be here. So it was personal. Our guys took it personal. They carried their lunch pail, put their hard hat on, had a blue-collar mindset. We went 1-0 every day, just went to work every day and worked on us. And at the end of the day, we focus on the process. We surrender the outcome and fall in love with the process of going 1-0 every day, and the outcome handles itself.
And as you guys saw, that was the predicted order of finish for the MEAC Media Day. I was there, I covered it, and that was the information that was there. And every once in a while, I refer back to this because the opponent that you're going to face is Jackson State, and they were projected to finish 3rd in their division. Not even in the conference, in the division. And so both of you guys essentially came in with this season with a chip on your shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Saying, really? Really? You guys are really saying that about us, about Jackson State. And you guys are really saying that about us, South Carolina State. And now look at this.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to be very honest. I've said this today, and I've said this all throughout my shows throughout the year. I have followed Coach Berry because he's won 2 national championships. Well, he's won two conference championships, SIAC, with Benedict College. Undefeated.
Yes, sir.
In conference play. I didn't see this, him coming in his first year. What do you attribute that to? And they're telling me I have to do a quick wrap. But what do you guys attribute that to?
You know, first off, we just give all glory to God. You know, we put him first in our program. You know, and we've had favor. We've had God's favor, you know, and because we put him first. You know, everything we do, we start all our meetings with a prayer. We end practice with a prayer every day. We pray a lot, you know, and we just put God first, and he's the credit. He gets all the glory. You know, Coach Berry does a great job of, you know, leading our program. He gets on us as coaches to get the players together, and everyone kind of just buys in. It's complete buy-in from the staff. It's complete buy-in from the players. We follow our leader, and man, when you put God first, you got great leadership. You know, the sky's the limit. When God is for you, who could be against you?
Who can be against you? Man, if I didn't pay so much for this mic, it'd be a mic drop right here. But guess what? Being a Christian, I can get with that. And for those of you who know me, I'm a Christian. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. But I'll say this because I'm going to be respectful for you because I know you got to make your rounds. But in this game tomorrow, I'm going to be here. I'll be doing a pregame show from 10 until 11:15.
Sure.
Much success to you and South Carolina State for tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So, and because I know she's getting ready to take you somewhere. And but thank you very much for your time. But more than anything else, and please let Coach Berry know I'm looking forward to speak to him.
Yes, sir.
Okay, more than anything else.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm going to tell you, Media Day this year, I'd met Coach Berry a couple of times, but talking to Coach Berry this year made me want to jump in, put on some pads. I ain't ever played football in my life. But listening to Coach Berry this year, I'm like, oh my gosh, where the pads? Okay,
that effect. He has that effect.
Where the cleats?
He has that effect, and I can validate. He is like this all the time.
Gosh,
he is like this all the time. That is him.
Yeah. Well, let me let you go because she's looking at me like, okay, what's up? So, man, look, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, man. It's a great day to be a Bulldog. Go Dogs.
Hey, likewise, and much success. All right, have a good one. Thank you. So I'm trying to get Mr. Grant over here to see if I can get him interviewed, and if I can get him, I'm going to see what happens. But hold on just 1 minute.
Wait a minute. I need one of those.
And I have someone else coming in to me. And the gentleman that I have sitting to my left needs no introduction, but guess what? I'm going to have him introduce himself anyway. So, Mr. Grant, please do the honors for us.
Hi, I'm John Grant, Executive Director of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, and the Red Lobster Band of the Year.
And because of Mr. Grant, I want you to mention something that you mentioned to me Media Day, and I think it was at the SWAC Media Day, about the number of shows that ESPN is putting on for HBCU sports.
Well, what we indicated was in 2015 when I started, there were 34, 35 football games being televised. This year, there are over 125 across all networks. That's including ESPN, HBCU Go, NFL Network, etc. That covered and delivered content around HBCU football games this year alone.
Now, and the reason why I wanted to point that out is because we remembered this guy by the name of James Brown many, many years ago, may God rest his soul, about being the hardest working man in show business. As far as I'm concerned, this is the hardest working man in HBCU sports. And look at what he has done for the HBCU community. I had Pete on here earlier because he is, his last name?
Durzis. Pete Durzis.
Thank you. And because of what he did in making the MEAC SWAC Challenge game, starting that up, and then the Celebration Bowl, and now what Mr. Grant is doing, we have to give credit where credit is due. We don't do it enough. And that's where I kind of put my kickstand down to say we have to give credit where credit is due, because trust me when I can say they could easily be doing something else. They could be making 6 figures to 7 figures doing something entirely different than making sure we have this. Why do you do this?
Because I love it. Because it's a calling. Because, my parents raised me to believe and to understand that, the quality of life you have is based on the quality of service you give. And that doesn't mean that I want, that anyone has to not recognize that you want to make a great income. But then if you do that, what do you do with it? Becomes the next
Good
thing.
point.
I love this because it's transformational.
Yes.
I love this because I love building things as well. And I especially love building things that's going to be impactful in our community.
Yes. What do you see we can do to make what we're doing better?
You know what? You guys are doing it. You're doing it by being here. We don't really ask anyone to do anything out in you guys. You're media companies that are content distributors.
Yes.
You guys were talking about the Celebration Bowl when no one else was.
Yeah.
And you were keeping the lights on for us to be able to see the way, and was shining a light out there when we were trying to say we wanted to go this way. And, it might have been dark in that direction, but you were putting a light so we could see where to go.
Yes.
That's why the people in this room continue to be here.
Yes.
Because
yes,
you were
yes.
there with us in the beginning, and as far as I'm concerned, you'll always be here with us because the more you talk about this, the more you're spreading the word, or I'll call it spreading the gospel,
Yes.
then the more people we can save.
Yes. Now, I was a part of the very first media role that was held outside, and there
Correct.
were only 4 of us, and I was the first one that everyone came through, and I remember that day. It was kind of chilly.
It was a little chilly.
It was a little
I think
chilly
it was a
outside.
little damp too.
Yeah, it was damp. Fortunately, I had a tent. Others didn't have tents. I had a tent. I had chairs. And so the people who came into me were warm. Well, at least they were dry.
Right.
But I know you're going to be running in other different areas. But before we go to the other topic, anything else you want to mention about the MEAC SWAC Challenge or, well, mainly the Celebration Bowl, since the Celebration Bowl is coming up tomorrow? Anything specific you want to mention about the Celebration Bowl?
We have an exciting, truly exciting matchup. And you can feel that with the energy in the city.
And in this
the
room.
Energy in this room. 2 great programs, 2 championship programs. So fans are really going to be in store for something tomorrow. Whether you're here at the game or you're watching it on television. I tell people, look, if you can't make it and you're going to watch it, how about have a Saturday Cricket Celebration Bowl watch brunch? Have a brunch with friends, invite everyone over just like you would for the Super Bowl. And Super Bowl Sunday, we make this Celebration Bowl Saturday.
And there you go.
There you go.
But before the Celebration Bowl, there's something else that's going to take place tonight. And this is something that you started. And so we were on that camera right there. This is something that you actually started last year, but actually you started it 3 years ago.
Yes.
In order for it to take place last year.
Correct.
So why don't you tell us about that? Give us a little bit more information on this.
Well, tomorrow night is the national championship. Oh, tonight. I'm sorry. Tonight, Friday night, the national championship for HBC marching bands, the Red Lobster Band of the Year. This is our second year hosting this event, and we have some powerhouse lineups who are competing for who have earned their way to Atlanta through their performances through the year. Have earned their way here at the high school level. We've got 2 of Atlanta's premier high schools competing for the Metro Atlanta Band of the Year.
Oh, wow.
Jonesboro and Southwest DeKalb.
Okay.
Then we had the Division II level, Virginia State, who was here last year and left going,
that's right.
We're going to make our way back. They earned their way back here this year. They're taking on Miles College.
Okay.
And then at the Division I level, you got the defending champion North Carolina A&T who made their way back, taking on the legendary Florida A&M Marching 100 at the Division I level. So listen, we're going to see some great band performances tonight because these kids are here with the intent of taking home the national championship. So no one's taking anything off the field tonight.
Now, the one question that I've had that's been posed to me, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, is whether a champion will be announced tonight or will that be announced tomorrow?
They'll be announced tonight.
Okay, good, because I'm looking, saying, well, I don't know.
Yeah, champion will be announced tonight across all
categories.
All 3 categories.
And so you have your answer in the discussion. Because, I'm sorry, folks, I did not have that answer for you in terms of who was, when the champion would be announced. That is great news. And one last question, because I know you have to go. You said you do this because there's a need. When you decide to step down, and I know that's about 30 years from now. I know that's about 30 years from now.
It won't be that long, I can see.
How can we make sure we continue this on? Who are you grooming to come alongside you right now?
Well, the thing about it is you don't ever rest anything in the hands of one person. We have a great team of people who are committed, who are working hard every day. Any one of them has the potential to provide the leadership. But I will say this, we all are leaders in our own way.
Yes,
and I
sir.
thank you for doing what you do to keep this going. But a part of what we have to do is to institutionalize this in a way that not just for when I'm gone,
But it just perpetually.
that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, that the foundation that we've laid today is so solid that the structure we can build on top of it can withstand any storms, because storms will come.
Yes.
Any storm that comes our way.
Now, what's that? That thing that they do on the 1st of January, the Rose Bowl parade.
Rose Bowl.
How many years have they been doing that?
100. This year is 108.
Exactly. And the reason why I bring that up, this is what Mr. Grant is saying. If other entities can do something and it lasts for 108 years, the Rose Bowl parade, and then the game thereafter, why can't we continue to move this forward? And once we institutionalize it, why not? It's only up to us.
It's up to us.
And if we continue with the legacy, now granted this is the second year for the Band of the Year contest, but with the Celebration Bowl, all the other things that you're doing, why not? If we don't, shame on us. Mr. Grant, thank you very much. Any last words?
No, let me tell you, you closed it out. I don't want to top what you just said
Oh.
because I don't think I can. But thank you so much for having me.
And we're going to go to break, and I want to mention something to Mr. Grant off camera. But we're going to break right now. See you in a few minutes. Okay, folks, I am back, and I have another representative with me from South Carolina State. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell me the position you're in, your number, and also your classification. Junior, sophomore, freshman? Go ahead.
My name is John Hannibal Jr. I'm a senior defensive tackle.
And what number?
Number 41.
Number 41. And see, I have been following you guys, and we've been talking about you. As you can see, I have the predicted order of finish, and both you and Jackson State kind of have a chip on your shoulder because it was said that you guys weren't going to do that well. And here you are, new head coach, and you came through and just kind of like, I mean, and I'll be very honest. I'll be very, very honest. I didn't see this coming personally. I did not see this coming. I have followed Coach Berry from the time he was at Benedict College. So, were you here when Coach came, or did you transfer with him?
I transferred with him.
So you came from Benedict?
Yes, sir.
Why did you follow Coach Berry?
Just for starters, I came from a school called Keenan High School, W.J. Keenan High School, down there in Columbia, South Carolina. We're not really known for football per se. We're mainly a basketball and track school. So when I got the opportunity to go play for Coach Berry at Benedict, I was grateful. And just getting the opportunity to transfer with him it means the world to me. He brought me in. He asked me, to continue this journey with him. So I'm just kind of grateful for the opportunity.
See, now, were you a part of the first 2 championships that he won?
Yes, sir.
That says a lot, because that means you were part of the first 2 championships that he was a part of, and you brought that championship pedigree with you. How many of you guys transferred with Coach Berry?
I want to say probably about 15 of us, guys from offense, defense, and then we just kind of, bought in, brought the culture with us. That's really what it all was about.
15. That I didn't know. I knew that there were players that transferred in with Coach Berry. I had no idea it was 15. So roughly 15, could be 1 or 2 more.
Yes, sir.
Holy cow. Hence the reason why, because, see, that says a lot about a culture. Because whereas the previous coach for Jackson State, and so we're going back and forth, the previous coach from Jackson State left, and he took players. They had to rebuild. And he remained at Jackson State, Coach T.C. Taylor, whereas Coach Berry transferred in and brought students in, brought players in. Different culture, different mindset. And look at the difference in what transpired. Coach T.C. took 2 years, where Coach Berry only took 1. And he went through the MEAC conference like a hot knife through butter. Delaware State, 69-35. North Carolina Central, pretty much the only tough game in the bunch.
Yes, sir.
Because they, and I kind of call them the bully on the block. That's my goal, except for now.
Yes,
So North Carolina Central, and let's pull that up real quick. We did talk about it earlier, but let's pull it up real quick so we can talk about it. North Carolina Central, 24-21. Howard University went to Howard, 38-14. Went to Morgan State, 54-7, and Norfolk State, 53-21 in South Carolina. So all 5 of those conference games. The lowest point total was 24 points. Granted, Delaware State, how did Delaware State get 35 points?
We kind of just got in there, we weren't really locked in, so it's just kind of more so we got to work teamwork on being better at us. You can't really blame anybody because we are defense as a collective. We just got to just continue to work better.
So in other words, and the one thing I can say respectively to Delaware State, but you guys just came in with a different mindset.
It being that it was homecoming, coach really hammered in the fact that the game is for us, not none of the festivity that's going before the game. So we kind of hammered it in, So, and coach always speaks about having a fast start. We have a fast start. We think nobody can beat us.
And as a matter of fact, that's what Coach Oliver mentioned, is that you guys got in a fast start. The game got away from you early, and they came back because you guys had a 21-0 lead on Central. But you guys were able to take advantage of them, and look at there. And you guys finished up, and it was like, oh my gosh, great opportunity, great setup. But she's kind of looking at me, telling me I need to wrap it. Now I thought she was going to come back. But anything that you want to say from the offensive side in terms of what you're doing and what's making you guys so successful?
Just giving the offense great looks when you practice the defense. We believe we have the best offense in the MEAC, let alone just the country. So just continue giving great looks. So when they see stuff in practice and they see it in the game, they be able to produce, make it happen.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I tell you what, because I'm seeing that they're trying to, because they know that you guys came in late. Because I want to get your head coach. Yeah, I want to get your head coach. And but more than anything else, when you guys get the opportunity, I will be there tomorrow, and I will be doing a pregame show tomorrow from 10 until 11:15, and I'm looking forward to just talking about everything that for the Celebration Bowl and everything that's going on. So I'm going to let you go, and so you can go ahead and finish making the rounds, and I can get this brother in right here, one of your coaches, and so we can continue to talk about SCSU. So thank you again, and we're going to see what can happen and see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
You got it, Doc. Why not you? Why not you?
I just set up.
Oh, now see, I've already talked to him. So, see, they're trying to avoid me. But I also want to catch up with your coach, Coach Berry. So, because I know he has to go, but. Okay. Well, you could have just run him away. See, y'all need to leave me alone. See, but I tell you what, this is the problem with when we're working and when we're looking down. Well, I tell you what, I can take another coach, but when he gets available, oh, that's his last one. Okay. Well, I tell you, it seems like I missed my opportunity with Coach Berry, the same as I missed my opportunity with Coach T.C. Taylor. And hate to say it, I won't get a chance to get either head coach today. But, it is what it is. And then I got one of the coaches that left his backpack. I should have figured it out it was his. I would have sold it back to him. So that's all right. Could have gotten some play secrets, too. But no. But, it is what it is. And this is where we can come in to have a lot of fun, what's going on, make everything work, and just enjoy the time for what we have to do. But going to take a quick break as we can get other people in and just go from there. Okay. both. Yeah, come on in.
Put us all the way out. Okay. All right. Come on, Red Lobster.
Yeah, I don't know about this chair.
Yeah.
You all right? You got strong bones.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's funny.
Yeah, come on over just a little bit more.
We can do that. Sounds like y'all were pledging.
No hazing now. No hazing.
I didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
I know I did it.
I had a good DP. See, I had it when we had DPs. I don't know about you guys when y'all played. Dean of Pledges. You had one? Okay.
I actually pledged.
All right. Well, we are back, folks. We are back here, and we're getting ready to do a quick wrap. But, and you can grab the mic there. But I'm going to have. I was about to say my frat, but I can't be too biased, even though I was very biased earlier today. But I want you guys to please introduce yourselves, the fraternity that you're a part of, and I'll let you go first, and then you can go afterwards.
Yeah, hi, I'm Dr.
Ooh.
Sean D. Housen Sr.
Let me make sure that mic is on for you. The last person had it may have turned it off. And check. Tell you what, you can use my mic.
Okay. You good? Hi, I'm Dr. Sean D. Housen Sr. I am the 23rd International Grand Polaris of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
Chris Ray, 36 International President of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Tell you what, I've been on the air for so Check one. Okay, yeah, everything is back now.
All right.
I don't know what happened here, but go right ahead. And could you reintroduce yourself, Frat?
Chris Ray, 36 International President of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
And see, this is what happens when you walk away from your equipment and expect everything to stay up, running, and operational. And people look at you like, okay, this is your stuff. What's going on here? But before we leave, and I know we are running into overtime here, and D9, and of course, you know, no disrespect. He's my D9 brother. But as you guys know, and as I've been talking about, quite a long time that I bleed blue, my son bleeds blue, my daughter just went over, my oldest twin just went over Zeta, and other members, I just found out another one of my first cousins, his son is about to go blue. And so my family is blue and white. But the one thing I can say is that the D9 is represented all throughout the family.
Oh, that's good to
Okay.
know.
All
It's
right.
represented
That's good to know.
all throughout the family. However, the blue and the white is dominant.
That's okay.
That's
That's okay.
But that's okay. That's all right, because guess what? We all work together as one.
That's right.
And do we play around with each other? Do we kind of joke and jive about certain things? Yes, we do.
That's what family does.
That's what family does.
We can't take ourselves so serious all the time. We gotta
That's
have
right.
Fun.
Now, what we won't do is allow anybody else.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for saying that.
We won't allow anybody else to play around with us like that.
Because the one thing I've told a lot of people, if I hear someone outside of the family talking about someone from Iota, someone from the Crimson and Cream, someone from the Purple and Gold, and when I say Iota, I mean also Omegas, I mean the Alphas, and also the Kappas, and for that matter, the ladies, the Zetas, the Deltas, the AKAs, Sigma Gamma Rho, any of them. You ain't even got to raise a hand. I got you.
You got it. Well,
There you go.
I got
Appreciate
you.
that. Definitely.
Because only we can joke about each other and have fun with each other. But with all of that being said, what are you doing? What's happening with each fraternity, and what in the service community is happening?
Well, I can tell you for IOTA, right now we're really pushing the Aura Lee Foundation, where she's out there curing cancer. And so we're trying to help her raise funds so she'll be able to go to human trials. Cancer touches everyone.
That's right.
Okay? So we want to, as IOTAs, we want to make sure that we're involved in really trying to help to get this Dr. Lee's treatment to everyone.
Yes.
So she's trying to raise at least $10 million. Okay? And she's already cured cancer in mice. Okay? Without any radiation or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
really?
I'm pretty sure we've seen some of our family members go through chemo treatments of it, and it's not a good look.
It's with a machine that she created, with a device that she created.
Why haven't we heard more about this?
Well, that's why I'm here now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we're on this camera right here, and you can see yourself over here, but we're on that camera. And see, this is why. Well, I'm not going to get in that because we don't have time. But this is why we need to work together, and we need to hear from each other. Because if we do not take the time to communicate these things, then guess what happened? This kind of information needs to be known.
That's right.
I have a person, I'm the president of the Indianapolis chapter for Jackson State University. A member of our board on the regional level, her husband has to take chemo every day.
Yeah.
And because of something like that, you're telling me that this is going to nullify potentially having chemo.
Yep. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for us, for Phi Beta Sigma, we've decided to get into the affordable housing business.
Yes.
So a lot of people don't know, but we are going to be breaking ground in a few months on a 4-story, 36-unit apartment complex in Washington, D.C. And it's going to be the beginning of what we believe is going to be a strategic move by us as an organization to get into the affordable housing business around the country. And we're talking about, when we say affordable housing, we're talking about, some people when they hear affordable housing, they think about the projects, so they're thinking about Section 8. No, we're talking about, working class, middle class folks who can't even afford an apartment in Washington, D.C., or a Los Angeles, or a Chicago, or a Houston, or in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we have decided that that's going to be one of the tenets, one of the areas that we're going to focus on, which is helping individuals. And so we are excited. We are this close to groundbreaking and looking forward to transforming what we are going to be doing and what our impact is going to look like in the next decade as an organization.
And see, a lot of people look at any fraternity, African American and Caucasian, all they do is drink. All they do is go out and have parties.
Dance.
All they do is
step. All they do is step.
All they do is haze in the past.
That's right.
Way in the past.
That's right.
So don't. Because the one thing I know today is with different fraternities and sororities, if an individual does do something out of line, we prosecute them.
Definitely putting them out. I can tell you that, the individuals that continue to promote hazing and things like that, they're probably not even financial in the organization. And when something happens, they're the first ones to run away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's up to us to make sure that these individuals are actually active in our organizations financially, okay, and they're approved to participate in some of our programs.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, going back to a few other things, we have to continue to change that narrative when it comes to the black fraternities and sororities.
Yep.
We are more than a dancing team or anything like that. We're
Thank you.
actually in the communities. As you can hear, Phi Beta Sigma, you guys are working on affordable housing.
We're building houses and curing cancer.
Did we say anything about, oh, man, we did great at the step show the other day.
Oh.
We had a great stroll. We did, no, curing cancer, housing.
Yeah.
All of that other stuff is by the wayside. This is what it is to be a part of organizations that is trying to get into the community and help others. This is why you have to choose, and choose wisely. But the one thing I will honestly say, you can't make a mistake with either one.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
So we're working together regardless.
We're working together regardless.
What did I hear you guys say over here?
D9, stronger together.
That's what it is.
That's it.
Stronger together. Because apart, here we are.
It's going to expose you to areas that you would have never thought that you would have ever gotten a chance to be a part of in your life. You will be in rooms with individuals that are doing the most extraordinary things in your community, not just famous people, but just everyday folks that will inspire you to want to be a better version of who you are. That's why you join a fraternity and sorority. That's why you want to be a part of the D9. And so I would encourage anyone to do your research and to to join and come and help us change the world. Because why? Because we can't do it. We can't do it without you.
Now, they said about being financial. I'm financial up until December of this year. But guess what I did? I paid my dues today.
That's right.
There you go.
So, talk about being financial. Don't want to hear it. It's like voting. If you didn't vote, shut the hell up. I don't even want to hear it. Don't even talk to me. But gentlemen, and of course, this is my frat. So thank you.
Thank you.
And this is what it's all about. Be a part of the solution.
That's right.
Not a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution, not be the problem.
That's right.
And with that being said, I am closing out today. And thank you guys for being a part of Block Sports here. And everything that you do, follow us tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will be live for a pregame show from 10 a.m. until 11:15 tomorrow. And we will give you 45 minutes to get ready for the game between Jackson State University and South Carolina State. So may God bless you, may God keep you, and we will see you live tomorrow morning. God bless.